Hi everyone, welcome to the Soft Spot. This is a little podcast where we do things and stuff.
It really hurts.
Thank you
It's
for
too loud.
being here. I'm really
It's
happy
too loud.
to have
It's
you
too
all
loud.
in the Soft Spot.
It's
really
too
happy that you're all
fucking
here in the
loud.
Soft Spot.
Oh my god, dude.
My name is Gerald P. Payne. You might recognize me from my PBS show.
I can't
where
understand
I play
anything he's
Sesame
saying.
Street. I'm joined today by Zachariah Gilroy, creator of
Is he
Anthrax.
speaking?
I don't even know.
And on the bottom is Leonardo Cervantes, author of the Bible. Welcome, everyone. Hi, how are you?
What the fuck was that? What the
I
fuck
heard it.
was that? It was so... I could not understand a
Yeah,
word
dude.
you were saying. Was that the Lord of the Rings theme song?
You damn right, yeah. The Uruk-hai.
Oh, okay. That's
yeah.
what I thought it was.
So what I was saying is, my name is Gerald P. Payne, beloved children's television show host and terrorist. To my right is Zachariah Gilroy, creator
Hello.
of Anthrax. And on the bottom is Leonardo Cervantes, author of the Bible. Say hi, everyone.
I like that.
That was very good.
Next
I
time,
really enjoyed that.
can you refer to me as Mr. Rogers' grandson, Mr. Rogers?
Fuck, should have.
You wouldn't be wrong though.
No, I would. Oh man.
Hi, everyone. How are you all?
Hello.
How was your day? How was your day? How was your day? How was your day?
It's good. I'm starting to notice that the days are shorter now, as opposed to them being super long,
When do you wake up?
which is a good thing.
That's
I mean, I wake up at 10.
a.m.
I wake up at 10 a.m.
Wow. What's 10 a.m.
Yeah.
up to these days? I haven't seen it in forever.
Well, 10 a.m. lasts until 11 a.m. in bed. That's what it is. Just because I say that's not when I get up. That's when I wake up. Grab a brush and put a little
There's a
makeup.
little makeup.
You get what I'm saying? So
I just got
when I wake up that early, it's usually because I have something to do later on. I just need to, I still have school and stuff, so.
I miss that. I miss having things to do. I don't have anything to do, and my life has crumbled because of it. I have
Have you thought about learning a trade or something?
I've been editing a lot more, but I do that on my own weird schedule, which is I'll stay up till 6 a.m. and do that.
6 a.m. Why don't you just start earlier?
Because I'm asleep. I
Are
try.
you a
That's
night
true.
owl?
I am now, and I hate it. I haven't.
I understand that. It's not necessarily a horrible thing, I think. I think that every creative goes through that at some point,
Yeah.
But
I mean,
as long as you're treating your body,
Well, I mean,
so getting this.
he cut off. Did you see that, Zach? He cut off. I mean, Leo, did you see that?
He didn't cut off.
Okay, that's just me then. Never mind.
How about you, Leo? How about you?
Yeah, go, Leo. Go, come on.
Go, Leo.
I get
No, go,
scared
Leo.
when I'm put on the
Go,
spot.
go, Leo.
No, go.
Where are the bodies, Leo? Where are the numbers?
I
Leo?
have
Come on,
performance anxiety.
Leo. Come on. It's now or never. All 5 of our fans are watching, and 3 of them are gonna click
You
off.
think there's 5?
Yeah, at least.
Holy shit! Pretty sure people already stopped watching the podcast.
Because you didn't go, Leo. They were waiting for you.
What was the question again? I have headphones.
Where were you on the night of December 28th, 1985? It's a yes or no question, Leo.
I wasn't born.
It was in 1865, Zach.
I thought you were making
No,
a
no,
reference
no,
to
no,
that
no.
show on Netflix called Dark.
No. I'm talking about when he's mission report December something.
Yeah, it was 1990 something.
December 16, 1991.
Mission
1992.
Report.
Yeah,
1991.
Yeah,
Faithful.
okay.
Boxcar.
My bad.
Large fries. Chocolate shake. Electric snake. Jamba juice. No, it's hot mousse, rubber goose. Large fries. Chocolate shake. Jamba snake. And then they look at him and they're like, "Bit twerp!" And that's when he goes and kills people.
Oh my god, that was so funny. Mission report. December 17th, 1992.
91.
Chocolate shake.
Chocolate.
What is it? Oh my god, that is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard in my life.
Bucky was an average kid whose parents didn't understand.
Yeah, that was. Oh my
That was
god.
perfect.
Mom and dad in the
That's what he
army.
grew up to be. That's
Always giving him command.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
there
my
we go.
god. That was
Hired me.
fantastic. Okay, I'm awake now. God damn it.
Forgot what was the question.
We're asking
I
you, what
don't
do you
know
do?
fucking-
How was your day? Delete.
Yeah, how was your day? What have you been doing?
Easiest
bro?
question I ever answer.
Dude, I wake up at like 6 p.m.
No
Son.
way. Dude,
Yeah.
why do I don't know how people do that.
I don't know. I
Jesus.
wish I had a normal sleep schedule, man. It's not like I voluntarily.
Fuck.
You stay up late one night. You have a lot of fun because you're doing stuff, and then you
And then that
just
fucks everything up.
you never stop. Yeah, and then you just
Then okay, isn't it fair to say that if you just went to bed early one night, it would go back?
I can't do
it's
that.
hard. It's hard, Zach. I've taken pills. I've taken yoga. I've done the tea. I've done everything. It
Don't take
work.
pills. Don't take
Yeah,
pills.
yeah.
Don't
Don't take
work.
those pills, bro. Bro, don't take those pills, bro.
It don't work, man.
Bro.
No, don't take those pills, bro.
No, bro. Bro. Don't take those pills, bro.
I look like a PS1 character.
You look like James Franco. Mixed with Ghostface just a little bit.
Oh, now that look like stupid dog.
I don't like this. I don't like this, Gerald.
So, yesterday I found an interesting video, and
Okay.
I wanted to discuss a little bit of it. It was like one of those like Reddit, Ask Reddit shits, and it was quotes that are very wrong if said by Hitler.
Okay.
So
Okay.
people had a couple interesting ones, and I want to get into that. Can you guys think of any of them as I look for it, or
Are they actual quotes or quotes from like?
they're quotes by
movies and
other
stuff?
people?
Okay.
Hot moose, Jamba Juice, China.
I mean the entirety of Churchill's speech, I think
Oh,
has
no.
a way different connotation if it's a Hitler speech.
Could you imagine Hitler doing Chris Rock's stand-up?
Yeah,
That would be
it's funny.
so
Funny
weird.
enough, I can.
It's just
One of them was, if you can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen. I'll be back.
Oh my god. Okay.
Uh,
Oh, this is what it is. Okay. I thought you meant famous quotes like "One small step for man, one small step for man."
yeah, exactly. I've
I don't
learned that
think that
people will
quote-
forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
Mm.
just do it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Anything
nice
works.
one.
Anything honestly like works.
Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
Oh my god, that's a good one.
Oh my God.
That is a good one.
Really?
Um,
In front of my salad?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a
I like
great-
that one.
Anything he says just like makes it's all worse.
Let's try to. I wonder if any of them actually make sense.
I'm ready.
Idiot, you're stupid. That's so stupid. Fuck.
Gotta
I
catch
don't
them
know.
all.
You gotta pump those numbers up, those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Oh my god. Hitler quotes. I wonder how bad of a guy he actually was, because wasn't around.
I mean, it's. I remember hearing people describing him that he was just kind of like a weirdo. I think
You miss
Churchill.
100% of the shots you don't take.
I like that one.
I think like while he was like running for chancellor, his opponent was like, "Dude, you wouldn't even want to share a cigarette with the guy. Look at him. He looks like a weird fucking mouseoid. I hate him." He's so weird."
Everybody thought he was weird.
Yeah. You know, fun fact about Hitler. Do you want to know what he was doing during D-Day, like the greatest land invasion of World War II?
Yeah.
Take a guess.
Was he painting?
No, worse. Motherfucker was asleep. He was sleeping. And like they had strict
I mean,
orders.
people need sleep.
I mean,
That's
what
n-
was he?
That's nice
He
and all,
stayed up.
but
He stayed up late one night, and it just fucked
Yeah.
up. It just fucked everything up.
yeah, but like they had strict orders like don't wake him up no matter what, and that wouldn't be a problem if there weren't certain units in his army that could not move without him saying so. So they had all these tanks that could have really made a difference, but they couldn't move because El Fuhrer was nap time, you know?
I bet there was one German soldier just like sweating, like thinking if he should wake up the Fuhrer, or if he should like tell him what the fuck's going on. It's like, oh, Hitler, I don't I cannot wake up Hitler.
Yeah, they're landing on the beach. I'm sure it's no big deal. There's a lot of people on the beach.
Gerald, we should make that movie. We should make the movie of the German guys contemplating whether or not they should wake him up. Like, because D-Day's going on and just that banter.
Call it bedtime for Hitler. I'm sure it's not that many boats. It's a lot of boats, dude.
Oh, Gerald, I'm writing that down. I want to make that movie.
No, you wake up the Fuhrer. No,
it's not a lot.
Yeah.
Look, he's gonna wake up in 5 minutes anyway. It'll be fine. It's not a lot of. We have machine guns there. It'll be, dude. It's a lot of people. Like,
what if we just make a loud noise? Some noise.
What if we make it seem like an accident? Oh my God, where the fuck is my?
Yeah, just knock the China over. I'm not knocking the China over, dude. It's either knock the China over, or wake up Hitler. I don't know what you want me to do.
Knock the China over.
He'll be up in 5 minutes. I don't know what you want me to do.
He didn't sleep last night. Just give him some sleep.
We do it in the vein of like Jojo Rabbit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It'd be a great little fucking skit.
I would fucking love that skit. I
thought you were gonna go wake him up. I was gonna go wake him up if you were gonna go wake him up.
Dude, I don't know. Like, do I shake him? Like, how does he like to get waken up? Do I have to?
Dude, just go in the room, like, shake him and run out. No, he's gonna know it's me, dude. How is he gonna know it's me? My footsteps. I don't know, dude.
It's the fucking Fuhrer, bro. I don't know. Like, he can just fucking.
How's he gonna know? Well, I'm gonna tell him, of course. I have to tell him.
If any of us wake him up, I'm sure he'll call all of us just to make sure that he got him.
Damn, I really can't believe he was asleep during all that shit.
Yeah, no, the Nazis were fucking stupid, arrogant pricks, and like that's why they lost. Like, thank God. Like, God, I was like.
Okay, really, but like, how many of them were just following orders?
I'm sure a lot of them.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people hated what he was doing, but like,
oh yeah,
there's like that whole experiment and everything that when someone is in power, yeah, exactly. Yeah. When you're told to do
that
something.
One what?
Stanford prison experiments when they it was in this college. They like made like a little fake prison just to see what happens when like people are guards and people are prisoners to test psychology. And the experiment was supposed to last like a week. It only lasted 3 days because the guards got so sadistic and like abusive towards the prisoners, and they would make them like not eat and do push-ups and do all these degrading things, and the prisoners would just go with it, and they lost their minds, and they thought they were in there like forever, and they were crying, and they were like really bad people.
It lasted 3 days.
Yeah, they called it off after like 3 days. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the other experiment where like someone was told to follow orders and like electrocute a man if you got the question wrong.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was this wacky experiment, right? What the gist was, there's a guy on a chair.
Wacky is such a light word.
It was wacky.
It was kind of wacky, you know?
Yo, it was this goofy experiment.
Alright, it's goofy.
Just a silly idea in my head, you know?
There's a guy in a chair, right? And they bring someone in. The guy's an actor, by the way. And he's supposed to zap him whenever he gets a question wrong, right? And what happens?
Wait, the guy sitting in the chair?
Yeah, the guy's sitting in the guy's asking him questions, right? This is the person they bring in, right? And the actor is supposed to get zapped, but he's not actually getting zapped, right? And every time he gets it wrong, they zap him. And at some point, the actor's supposed to be like, "Please stop! I have a heart condition. Please stop! Please, I'm gonna die." And they're like, "That's not the right zap." And the guy pretends to die, right? And people were so fucking like shell shocked from that experiment. They come in and like, you got punked. It was a wacky experiment. They're like, I was just following orders. Why didn't you stop, stupid? Why did you not? He told you he had a heart condition because you told me I had to press the button. I asked him what 4 + 4 was. He wouldn't tell me. It was just simple. I was just following orders, you know. And I think someone killed themselves because of that.
Because what happened basically, I don't know if Gerald explained it well enough, is like there's someone in the room with you and he's the one telling you,
Gerald, he just told you to fuck yourself. He just told you to fuck yourself.
He didn't explain that part too well, but like there's someone that's like dressed as like the professor of the experiment, whatever. He's like, nah, please proceed with the experiment. We have to like, you know, continue zapping him. And then the other guy's like, please stop, no. But like they're just showing how much of these orders can you follow, how much is like free will, as opposed to like just listening to these orders.
Yeah.
People are pussy
kind of-
bitches.
And they would increase the voltage of the electricity per se.
Yeah, that was the thing, right? So it's like,
Jeez.
name all 150 Pokemon, you know, Totodile, like, that's not in the first generation. Zap, you know? And that's what the Nazis did, you know? Like, a lot of them were just doing it because it was the cool thing to do.
Cool thing.
What a yucky experiment.
It was a slight whack, you know. It was just a little goofy experiment
Little
with
goof.
the
It was a
boys.
little goof.
Yeah.
You just
But, yeah.
chilling with the boys, you know.
Go
Go on.
ahead. No, go ahead.
No.
No, me? No.
No, you
Yeah,
may.
yeah, go.
No, because I.
Oh, me.
Huh?
Oh well.
No, wait,
How do you
huh?
get?
Wait,
You-
are
I don't. You mean? When
me?
but when
No,
will then be now?
When will now be done?
Then
Just now?
Just now?
we're almost there.
Go
Right
back
now?
to then.
We can't.
Why not?
Because that's
We
then.
missed it.
When?
Just now.
Now.
But when will now be then?
Then will be now. Yeah, that shit was from like Spaceballs, right?
yeah,
Damn
that's
right.
so. It's one of the best. Oh my god, one of the best. Ever.
Those writers are fucking insane. Speaking of space and balls, more of the space aspect. How do you guys feel about the government, like releasing those UFO footages?
I was just talking. I just tweeted about that.
Really?
Yeah, I just tweeted about it. What I tweeted was, do you think that the government just hasn't admitted that there's aliens because we've built it up so much and they know that they're actually just lame as fuck?
Ooh.
And now it's kind of just like, oh, I kind of don't want to. It's kind of like when you don't want to, if you're like, hey, guess what? And somebody says that this super elaborate, crazy thing, and you're like, oh, I kind of don't want to tell you anymore because it's nowhere near that cool. It's like that. I think it's like that, except years of it.
I feel
'Cause
like
I do believe that there's aliens. However, I don't think that the first we ever hear of it is going to be that cool at all.
Yeah, I've never I always thought like aliens were never gonna visit here because you're not gonna come like dillions of miles just to like fly around and fuck with people. No, you're gonna want to show up and tell people, you know. I think,
nah, I believe it.
No, I believe it. I just think that, you know, I don't think that if the government knows about it, which I'm sure they do, like I think it's so funny how people don't believe that there is something else.
True.
But also, I think that the government might not tell us just because the amount of people, because more than half of, a huge margin of this world bases their beliefs on faith. You know, as soon as you introduce aliens, all of that is out the window.
I think the government would,
All of it. All of
I
it is
feel
out the
like
window. You know how many people would commit suicide? You know how many people would just do? It would be destruction and chaos everywhere.
That's true.
I was thinking about it. I was like, let's say I wake up tomorrow, and the government releases that there are aliens.
yeah.
Like factual, no ifs, ands, or buts. On the TV, you see that there's an announcement that there has and they release everything. I would. There's something that would be tweaked in your mind a little bit, I think.
This little green alien standing next to the president, and he's like, "Look, I have found the aliens. He's right here."
Well, that makes me feel a little. That makes me feel a little bit better.
He'll help me
But-
build the Wallies way quicker than any of you guys ever could.
And the alien just looks at him. He's like, "What wall, dude? What are you talking about?" No, I
This,
feel like
what?
I feel like quite the opposite. I think if the government, especially like in the 50s and 60s when that shit was really hot and popular, I feel like they would scream it proudly and be like, "We found aliens and they're Americans because we found them first," you know. I just feel like it's like what you said. They're like really underwhelming and lame, and they don't know if it's aliens or if it's like some other government. Like,
Do you
really
think they
fast
legit
spaceship.
don't know?
They legitimately like probably don't know for sure. They don't want to like say it's aliens.
That's probably scarier, huh?
yeah.
If the top of the food chain supposedly doesn't know either.
Because like realistically, what it could be is just could be like someone else's like really fast, really well-built plane. You know, it could be so many millions of other things before it is like a being from another planet, because that's so unlikely to happen.
But the thing is, like, those objects that are flying break certain like rules of flight per se. That, you know,
no,
it's
like,
hard to explain, but it doesn't really defy what we can do.
It could be so many other things before like it's aliens. So I think
I think that it's probably just, you know, certain people in power would just be like, hey man, like I think we need to check off all the boxes before we immediately say that this is for sure the thing. It's never, because I think you're right about that, Gerald. Like maybe they're just not sure either.
Yes.
Because why would you say it's this thing if you're not 100% sure that it is that thing?
Yeah.
You know, because it also could be something wrong with the measurements, or something wrong with the camera, or it could be something this, it could be something. It could be a million things, because there have been stranger things have happened. But you know, like I want to ask you guys, like, how would you react to something like that if that were to happen?
I'd scream. I'd be so happy.
You'd be happy?
Fuck yeah! I've always wanted to see aliens. I've always wanted there to be more. You know, I used to be like I used to be that UFO kid.
Okay, continue.
Like I would watch those videos like to no end and be like, oh, it's definitely aliens. The government's lying. But as I've grown to become a bitter and shitty adult, I'm like, it's not. But tell me that it doesn't make you feel slightly inferior, like everything that you're doing. Oh, dude, because if I found out that there were like for sure aliens, not just that there were aliens, because I'm cool with there being aliens, but that they're here, it sort of makes you feel like you should be contributing to what? being, because right now I want to be a musician and a filmmaker, right? So it's about art and expression. As soon as something like that happens, I feel like I would want to be like a nerd.
Yeah, I'd kind of throw that out the window.
You know? yeah, I would throw being a musician out the window, kind of.
Well, now
because now
like
that
I'd want to expand on the whole like alien shit, you know, definitely.
Yeah. Like I would want to do something that it just makes you feel bit kind of like, okay, remember, like, well, I can't say remember, but there was this interesting thing that I feel like once, you know, I don't remember the time. When did we first fly to the moon?
1969, July 20th.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, once that happened, a lot of kids who were growing up, their minds changed about everything. That changed a lot of people. Like everybody all of a sudden wanted to be an astronaut. Everybody, because being an astronaut was like a profession that wasn't a thing. Yeah. That wasn't a thing that people wanted to do. Because your mind is limited to what it is you like, to the limitations of humans. As soon as you involve aliens, I feel like it changes your psyche a little bit to where it's like, okay, I want to do something bigger. Like I want to do something different. Like of course, to me, expression and art is hitting a certain peak in my mind that feels satisfied because of what I understand life to be right now. As soon as you involve something else like that, that changes everything for me. Like I would feel like, oh, maybe I want to do something in politics or get involved in this area or get involved with that stuff that I have no interest in now. But that's because I only have what it is that I know to be true.
Yeah, I feel that.
There are certain people who get into politics way later in their life because they saw something happen, right? Like they took a trip to Africa or something and they saw all the poverty and stuff like that, and they came back and they're like, I'm dedicating my life to helping those people. They drop everything because you're suddenly exposed to so much more.
So what would you feel like you'd get into if there was aliens?
If there was, it depends on what circumstance. I think.
See, because for me, I'd want to be an alien chiropractor. I feel like that would be calling to me, you know?
Yeah.
Zach said all that, and all you guys, I want to be an alien chiropractor.
That does lend itself to an interesting idea. I feel like I might want to do something more related to some sort of anthropology, I think.
See, like,
but something dealing in that, you know,
I feel you a lot,
that area.
But like, you know, like I've already staked all my eggs on this basket. Like I always feel like that because like I love space and shit, and I already feel inferior if you look at like the size of everything. Like here's a star and like here's you and like you're so tiny. So you know, if there were aliens, you know, it wouldn't make no difference to me. Like I'd have to stay the course. I'd be the first person to get an alien in a movie. That's how I would look at it. But you know, to me, it's like too late to change now. You know.
Yeah, I just think that I think that the idea of expression is taking what it is that we know and creating something new with it, you know? Like that's part of the idea.
Yeah.
That you're taking what it is, because expression is based off of experience. Like, so you take all the things that you've experienced and what you haven't experienced, and you kind of combine the two to create this new thing. As soon as something like that huge is introduced, like what I say, Leo, is like, if it's in a peaceful manner,
yeah,
I feel like I would be so interested in just understanding how they work, like psychology.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like I would get more into like the psychology of that, not so much anthropology, but like I might want to become a psychologist now.
True.
Or a psychiatrist, dealing with people who have interactions with that type of thing now. Because I mean, being a psychiatrist has been a thing that I've been interested in, but I feel like being an artist is a form of that.
Yeah.
You know? Because art is holding a mirror to society and seeing how people react to that. So it's more so, instead of talking to people, I've kind of decided, you know what, I'm going to push out what I believe that I've seen so far. As soon as something like that is involved, the idea is like, how do people react to that? Like mentally.
True.
You know, like this conversation is what I would be having what I would want to have all the time. And being able to communicate with somebody like that.
Now that you mention it, so many movies would just be like thrown out the window. Like you wouldn't want to go 100%. See Star Wars anymore because that's not what they're like. You know, you would want to go see the actual aliens. You know, I was actually thinking about that the other day. Yeah.
That's another thing. As soon as aliens are involved, a whole new wave of ideas are coming into play now. You know, like so many movies were influenced by huge moments like that.
That provides so many opportunities for so many things.
So many crazy fucking
funding
ideas.
For the Space Force would skyrocket.
Yeah, right.
I think there would be like a little like twinge of fear because we're like, oh my god, aliens! Wait, are they gonna kill us? Oh my god!
No, of course, no. That's what I'm saying. Of course, fear would come into. Fear would be, I think, at the forefront of everything, because that's how we are. We are a super defensive. You know, because we're so used to being at the top of everything.
Yeah. What's
we are
inferior?
Dude, I think. Well, is it true? Like we're the smartest things on this planet.
Yeah.
Okay. Because of that, as soon as you introduce something superior, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's gonna react to it differently, just because you're so used to being that top person.
Yeah.
As soon as you introduce something superior, it's like, yo, what the fuck?
Like
everything, something's gonna change. Like I do believe you in saying like, oh, no wonder so much. I think there's gonna be an adjustment period. Like I think that this whole planet will go through the Great Depression times 100. Because now everything is different. Everything. And it doesn't, like, all the stuff that you consider to be important is now unimportant for a good amount of time.
Because they're aliens.
How do you react to that? Like,
it's kind of like this
it's the biggest
thing.
It's kind of, yeah 100%. Like we don't know how to
tenfold.
react to that. We're going through our own, you know, type of version of that, because we're being introduced to something that we've never experienced, and staying inside is so much different. Is being forced to stay inside is something that we're 100% not used to.
Yeah.
You know, and think about how many people are reeling from that right now. People are going through some shit. And then you all of a sudden say that there's this whole nother race of beings that are possibly superior. It's like, okay.
I mean, if they come to visit us, they are superior.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But like let's say it's a discovery thing, right?
Yeah.
Like we discover it.
Oh, I feel like that'd be less intimidation.
Oh yeah, because if we find them,
yes.
it's like completely different. Because it's like, look what we found, and we
can
kill them now.
That's what I'm saying, Leo. It depends on how it's approached. If we find them, then that's a different thing. And I feel like we wouldn't find things that look like us or that we understand.
No.
You know, that type of thing. I genuinely think that there's no way to correctly show that interaction. I think because I think it would be more
like
of a spiritual thing. Yeah, because if it's an interstellar interaction, I feel like the way like physicality might not be a thing that's at the of that type of being. You know. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's more. It would be more of a.
Because there's a huge chance that like we can find aliens, but there's just like animals and stuff. You know, it's intelligent life. We're really looking for it. You know, but because like I feel like the first time we'll find aliens, they'll be like birds or like ants.
I feel like it'd be organisms and cells.
You know, like it'd be kind of like underwhelming.
It would be something super underwhelming to us. Like we find like a little leaf on Mars or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, there's life on another planet. And that's the start.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think we're gonna be alive by the time that type of thing. Like by the time that something is introduced that we're not, unless they come to us, and in which that case there's gonna be so much fear and chaos among this fucking planet that it's just gonna be ridiculous. Because as soon as there's so many people on this fucking planet that as soon as something's like that, they're like, blow it the fuck up, like 100%, blow it the fuck out of the sky.
And then there's people like Leo who are like, I want to fuck it. I want to touch the slimy butt.
Yeah. I want to touch it. I want to touch it.
If it has back problems, you're gonna want to help them out.
Yeah. Do you think it'd be like District
Leo.
9, Gerald? Do you think District 9 has any merit?
I think it would be like a mix.
Like
of
they
that.
are and they aren't superior.
I feel like Gerald would be an alien speech therapist.
I can't even talk normally, so I
maybe
don't know.
maybe that's an advantage.
Yeah, maybe you speak alien.
Maybe the aliens like stumble and stutter over sentences too, and it's like, good, like me too.
See, that's okay. So like the movie District 9, that's why I find that so interesting, because it's like these two different races are coming together, and in some ways they're superior, and in some ways they aren't.
Yeah.
Like we're such an overwhelming race that they become slaves of some sort.
People would desperately want them to be inferior. They'd be like, oh, they're aliens, they can fly and shit, but they can't dunk a basketball. Kill them, you know? Like
we would, yeah. Because it's such a...
I don't remember much about that movie.
Gerald, can you explain what that movie is?
I forgot.
A bunch of aliens fly over South Africa, and then they find them, and they don't know how to work their spaceship, so they put them in like this little shanty ghetto camp called District 9, and they're these little bug creatures, and they're kind of like stupid bugs, and they're like oppressed and whatnot, and they keep them in the camp and whatnot, but like
it's kind of a like a play on slavery a little bit.
Yeah
and
it's like, it's like Avatar but smarter, you know. It's pretty much the movie,
sorta. Yeah, except they come to us, we don't come to them.
Yeah.
And what's the story? It follows this dude who has like he's like part alien now.
He works for like a company that like oversees the aliens, you know, like they're in charge of their camp and whatnot, and he finds like some alien goo and it gets spit on him and he starts turning into an alien. And that's interesting because like the companies of the world, they want to control the alien technology, but only the aliens can fire it, and no one knows how to do it. But as soon as this guy starts turning into an alien, that's when they want him.
Whoa!
The movie's really
cut
interesting.
Off like crazy. Gerald, you cut off like crazy. As soon as you said he starts turning into him, and the aliens are the only ones who can use the technology.
Yeah, you see, now you know how I feel. Basically, he gets some goo, it spits onto his face, and he starts turning into an alien. And like, people want him because he can use the alien technology, and that's what the governments of the world want. They want to exploit the aliens for all their cool laser guns and shit and whatnot. And it's a pretty interesting dynamic, because like it takes this guy who's in like a privileged position, you know. And
it's definitely one of the cooler ideas the other heard, you know. Okay, so remember, have you seen the movie Arrival?
Yes.
Okay, Leo, have you seen the movie Arrival?
Contact on spaceship.
He said no. Okay, so I'm gonna describe it in a way that's not a spoiler. So, Gerald, you know how the aliens and the humans interact in that one, and it's not so much about the physical interaction; it's more about the mental and the language. Yeah. I feel like that's what it would that's the type of thing. That's the type of interaction it would be if they were to visit us. Yeah, I don't think that it would be so much like. What's important is not like, oh, let's fucking arm wrestle. No, what's important is like how like the communication aspect of it.
Yeah.
That's why I love that movie so much. I have the poster literally right there.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the poster's right there. Gerald, I mean, Leo,
like so,
it's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
I love it. Is like so unique to us, you know. It's like it's like a human thing. Like nothing else on this planet really like does that the way we do.
Yeah,
like,
nothing. Yeah.
So like to assume there's like another race out there that does it the way we do is like that's
an even bigger leap of faith.
Yeah.
Not just that there is something else out there, but something else out there that is equivalent to us in any way. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that if we were to find it, the interaction would mostly be physical. That's not it at all.
You know, they would need some of these, and they would need to do what we're doing now. And they probably have like some other way of doing that, you know.
Yeah, the construction, the anatomy would be so different.
Like, let's say
that's what I'm saying, Gerald. Okay, wait. Sorry, Leo. Before you say that, I would want to be, like, I would get a lot more into the idea of language and communication.
Yeah.
I think if aliens were introduced, I would want to be involved in some sort of communication psychology thing. That's the area I would go into. Okay, Leo, sorry.
You'd think with dealing with a more advanced like civilization or like, you know, like a creature or whatever, would they share similarities in certain things like arts or comedy, or like would that just be a completely different
obviously thing? I think it would look different for sure, but I think that the idea of creativity is based off of having what's the word?
Sentience?
Self-awareness.
Yeah.
Self-awareness. Yeah, kind of the same thing. Like that's why it's kind of difficult for like a lot of animals to be creative. It's because you have to have a level of self-awareness. Like with art, like art is an expression based off like what I just said.
Yeah.
You know, you take what it is that you know and you create something new from it. But to create something new from it, you have to understand what the fuck it is that you do. But so many animals are just go off of instinct. So if there is a level of art or creativity involved with these creatures, I feel like they're immediately at least equal to us in you know,
it would be,
whatever the fucking word is.
It would be
intelligence.
Because the thing about us is that like we're like a complete accident. Like we talk just like by like accident. Like because
you say it's by accident. Most of the world says it's on purpose.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind, Gerald. Keep that in mind, because that's also another thing I would want to touch on about that. Like those two ideals combining now.
Because the only reason we're so smart is because we can like talk to each other and like communicate ideas and like solve a problem together.
And creativity, problem
pick up
solving.
tools and all that. And like we evolved to do that. So there would have to be something else that evolved that can interact with its own environment and pass along. Like
we got big brain.
It's not that we have big brains. We're so lame and mushy. We have to work together to not get eaten.
I mean, our bodies aren't. You know,
they're okay, but we're not.
They're
elephants,
fine. They're fine. Yeah, we're not elephants. We're not bears.
An octopus has like the best body ever. They can do whatever the fuck they want, but they don't talk to each other. You know, like they don't communicate ideas.
Why do you think?
Yeah, why do you think octopuses have the best body?
Because like they like don't get cancer. They regrow limbs. They fit in the holes. They can change colors, camouflage, do anything.
Oh yeah. So their bodies are so well adjusted.
Yeah, like
it's just. I mean, aren't they pretty intelligent too?
They are, but like they don't need to be intelligent.
Well, obviously
like
not
we
to
are,
the level of us. Yeah.
They don't need to drive a car or build a spaceship or go to the moon. They have everything they need, you know. So like that's like another level to it. Like we're only smart because we're so.
There's an arrogance that comes with our intelligence for sure.
Yeah.
That's how arrogance is like comes into play. Because with animals, I think that it would be a lot better to be an animal of that sense, because you have an understanding of what it is that you need to do and you do it and you don't go beyond that.
Yeah.
Whereas so like we get so fucking bored like with what it is that we have, that we need to fly to the fucking moon and just
pretty much.
Do you guys think we'll be around enough to see other animals evolve into something more, you know, like self-aware?
That's a thing that happens over the
monkeys are already starting to
such
use
a long
tools.
time.
Yeah, that's in like a million years will be different, you know.
Yeah, like I think
different.
it would be really interesting if like you said, Gerald, I mean, in a million years we're completely different, and then certain animals are where we are at now.
Yeah.
That would be a crazy thing.
But see, like that's the thing, you know, like people think that like civilization is a step you reach in evolution. No, it's in our evolution. It's not in like every animal's evolution.
Yeah.
So the dinosaurs didn't do this shit because they didn't fucking need to. You know, they could just eat the shit they wanted.
This is such a specific level of.
Yeah.
But do you think that our evolution would adjust to our body? Like, because evolution, I mean, I'm not a. By the way, let me say this for anybody watching, and I think it's way past it. We don't know what we're talking about. This is all speculation and going off of the small amount of knowledge we have subject. I'm in no way an expert based off of science and evolution and stuff, but I'm asking.
Zach has 5 PhDs in anthropology.
Yeah, so I mean, I actually do. I like anthropology. I don't have PhDs, but I like anthropology. Do you think that? Fuck, you made me forget the fucking. Do you think that evolution, like our evolution, will adjust to our body's needs? Because that's what it is, right? Evolution is adjusting to the needs of the thing.
Of like what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like the more time that like our mind takes precedence over our body.
How long did it take for us to get here again?
Like
from like a Homo sapien?
Dillion years. We've only been around for like 200,000 years. Like, us as humans have only been around for like 200,000 years. So like,
yeah,
billions and millions of fucking years. You know, took a lot of steps. You know, so
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you know, you take that amount of time, and you know, we might be on some next fucking level, like
some other shit. You know,
something that we don't have an idea of understanding. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if we were to meet aliens that are superior to us, it would be so beyond our level of understanding that it would be such a shell-shocking thing. Like, so many of us would just have our minds scrambled just because of what, like, we can't even predict what this thing would be, because if we were to make any assumptions based off of that, even the craziest out there assumption is still in the realm of our understanding.
Exactly. We can't even perceive what they are. You ever heard of the intergalactic superhighway? It's like
I've heard of it. I don't know.
It's basically an explanation for like why aliens wouldn't talk to us.
It's like fake Postmates, right?
Yeah, it's like I don't know what you said, but
I didn't hear what you said either.
Like okay, imagine
it's like
that you have
Postmates,
to,
but in space.
No, imagine you have to tear down
intergalactic delivery.
Yeah.
Imagine you
That's
have to
how you
tear
get
down...
to Mars quicker. Because you don't take I-95. You take the intergalactic superhighway.
Listen, man.
Because if you go up US 27, it just takes way too long. Because you start hitting a lot of traffic.
Okay, now explain all of that to like an ant. Because there's an anthill in the way where you want to build your highway. So you have to sit down, look at the ant, and explain what a highway is, and why you need it,
okay.
you know?
Okay, I see
the ant
what
would just look at you and like, you got any bread? Like, fucking what? You know, that's like why aliens wouldn't talk to us. They would blow up our planet like that because like, I need to put the highway there. And we wouldn't even understand why they would need to, because like, we don't.
See, that's terrifying. That's terrifying. That gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
So I refuse to believe it.
Okay, but like there's things that are very similar to us, like monkeys, for example. Like they do a lot of the similar things that we do, and they're also constantly evolving as well. So do you think they'd evolve into something similar to Homo sapiens?
In some way, maybe.
Yeah,
because they already started using tools. Some monkeys already started using tools, and I feel like that's a step that we took. You know.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe in millions of years we'll be at some other level, and they'll be where we're at, or in a similar spot, in a similar place that we're at, you know? Like, I'm just, like, because obviously other animals have their own form of civilization, like bees and, you know, like aquatic life have their schools and have their level of civilization. It's just, there are animals that are, like, that build and stuff, that use tools, like certain insects and stuff, and that's a cool thing too, but they only do it to the level that they need to, like you said. So the idea of speculating where it is that we might be at, it's something that we just can't even touch on. We have no idea. No idea. There's not even a way to predict that. Like, it would just have to happen the way it happened. And I feel like us as humans with science and stuff, we're trying to push that forward in some way. But it will always be within our level of understanding. Always. Like, we're waiting for flying cars to happen, but like, they're like you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not that's still within.
Technically, a plane's a flying car because it has wheels, and you can drive it on the street if you wanted to, and it can fly. We've always had the flying car. We're just so arrogant. We never appreciated it. Go on.
That's I've never heard that before, Gerald.
Thank you, Gerald. Honestly.
Thank you for that. Honestly,
big brain, you know.
Dude. Look, listen. I get it. All right, I get it. Like, I understand.
That's the aliens talking to us, and they don't get it. They would like, we should sound like chimpanzee babble to them, you know. You know, like what I personally think is like the closest we've ever come to aliens. There was this one time where like a really long object, it kind of looked like a big stick, just kind of flew into the solar system and did like a U-turn and fucked right off. And everyone looked at that and they're like, "What the fuck? Rocks don't do that. What was that?" And
what are you talking about? Wait, can you describe that better?
Please.
So there was this one time, right? I think it was in like 2017 or something.
It would be so funny if he said the same thing verbatim.
There was a long.
In 2017, you said?
I think it might be. I don't know. It has a really long name because someone in Hawaii found it.
Yeah, duh. Yeah.
So like it was like a big long object.
We all know Hawaiians spit mad fucking bars. Like,
Straight
that's
bars.
Facts.
And like it's just a big long object, and they thought, oh, it's like a comet or something, and it enters the solar system, and it does like a turn that like is not natural for like comets or asteroids to do, you know, and it just fucks right off and leaves. And like we didn't even get like a good look at it, you know. It just looks like a big rock. I think that was just aliens right there, and they were just dipping by, and they fucked because they heard that.
Leo.
They heard a burp for the first time. They're like, "Oh, fuck that."
They didn't even.
That was
like,
Leo's way of saying "fuck that."
Fuck that.
I don't care.
It was like a big thing, dude. Like a big fucking.
The aliens were approaching. Like, listen.
It was just like a long object. You said. What do you
like
mean a long object?
It was huge. It was a big thing. It was like the size of like an asteroid, or it was like big enough to be noticeable, you know. And it made a turn that was like not natural for an object of that size to like make. So everyone was like, "What? Wait, come back! What the hell was that?" And it fucked right off. And I'm like,
see, that's the thing. There's
aliens.
so many things like that. That's like
unexplainable.
Unexplainable for us because we have a level of understanding. I feel like that's where everything's gonna come back to.
Yeah.
There's certain things that we just can't explain because our minds cannot process it.
We can't perceive the fourth dimension. It's like Carl Sagan said, you know, in that famous interview where Carl Sagan was like, "Look, fat, I'm gonna level with you, all right? We got dumb little fucking monkey brains, dude. There's some shit out there. We ain't never gonna fucking get it, man. Like ashes to ashes type shit, you know."
Like it's not about whether or not we find it. We just won't get it.
Yeah.
We won't get it. Listen, man, I won't get it.
Yeah.
Like we look at the sky, like we look at what space is, and I feel we just don't fucking get it. Like that's what it is.
They're just too much.
We just don't get it. Like
yeah, see, I found it. Okay, so I'm gonna try and pronounce
it,
the name.
pronounce it, please, for the love of God.
Okay. Oumuamua is the first known. See you do better, man. All right.
Fucking butcher that shit.
That's what it is.
No, like you can't just say that. No, okay, seriously.
No. Google object entered our solar system.
Hey Siri, can you show me Oumuamua?
Oumuamua is the first known interstellar object detected passing through the solar system, formerly designated 1L-2017. Oh, I was right. U1. It was discovered by Robert Warburg. That doesn't sound Hawaiian. What the fuck, man? That's not
Hawaiian.
Using the Pan-STARRS telescope at Halaleika Observatory, Hawaii. There you go. On 19 October 2017, 40 days after it passed its closest point to the sun on 9 September. And it's like it looks like a long turd. I didn't want to say it, but you know.
Can you show me it?
That's that.
Whoa.
I can't see it, but whatever.
Yeah, it was it's like a big spaceship. Just like swung by and was like, oh, look at that.
Oh, we're too close.
Yeah.
I got you. They just came in to check on us.
Maybe it was just an intergalactic space shit.
Maybe that's what I just said, Leo.
Maybe.
Leo's like, maybe I just, maybe it's this thing that I just came up with right now.
Yeah.
No, it's not a spaceship. That's stupid. All right, hear me out, guys. What if it's a spaceship? Yeah. Do you think aliens would watch our podcast?
No. We're
Probably
the boringest people out there.
What if by like some twist of luck, this is the most interesting podcast to aliens ever?
I would be honored.
Some weird reason. And people are like, your podcast sucks. Yeah, well, the aliens like us. So
We'll be the first people to communicate to the aliens. That'd be pretty cool.
And the aliens are like, I want that little boy to do stuff to my 6 backs. I want him, I want him to chiropract me. That sounds interesting. We can get you a licensed chiropractor. No. I want the podcast boy. I want that little boy's little fingers on my slimy back.
Do you guys have like any stories of someone that's like too into the whole alien thing? Someone that's just like a firm believer, straight into it.
Zach has whiter relatives than me, so maybe he might.
I have not so much on aliens. I have this uncle
Yes.
who once tried to convince me that Peruvians are white.
Peruvian.
And he pointed at you and he's like, eh?
Well, it's because of
And
my
you're
dad. He's like, make sure you tell your dad, because he was super into that type of stuff. And he said that he like went to Peru once and he dug up some fucking thing, and 1 + 1 = 2, and Peruvians are white. Like, I don't remember what he
can
said.
be white. I mean,
No. Like Peruvians like derive from like a white man or something. I don't know.
Oh,
It was him being like white power.
Okay,
that's
well, like,
on my mom's side of the family, they're very much white power type stuff.
yikes.
cool. That's.
But aliens, I wouldn't know. No, I have more like relatives that are so interested in like the idea of humans. I think it's funny that we're worrying so much about aliens. We barely have an understanding of our planet at all.
True.
It's because there's so
much about the fucking ocean that we have no idea. No idea.
My mom says that all the time. She's like, how come we're fucking going to space? The ocean. Look at this thing in the ocean. Why aren't we there? Who gives a shit about space? Let's go back to the ocean. I'm like, you're right, Mom. But at the same time,
wrong. I mean,
she's not. So much cool shit in there. But like, we so desperately want there to be aliens because that would make life like so much more interesting. There's like more out there.
Don't we not even have technology that can go as deep as deep as the ocean can go?
Only for like 5 minutes. And then
how deep can the ocean go? Like, what is the lowest point in the ocean?
I think it's like 20 miles or something. I might be wrong.
This is where Google comes into play.
We'll look it up. How deep is Leo's mom's ass?
That was really funny, Gerald.
Thank you.
That was very, very adult of you.
Yeah. Very
Let's see
grown
how
up.
deep the ocean is. How deep is Leo's fucking asshole? So stupid.
Okay. The Mariana Trench. The deepest thing. It's about 2,550 kilometers in length. And,
20 miles. Great, Gerald.
And look, shut up. Look,
20
look,
miles.
Look fat. Look, and 69 kilometers in width. So it's pretty deep.
Yeah,
Oh,
69.
It's a trench. Yeah, it's a trench.
Yeah. Like Leo's ass.
Did you say 69?
Did you just say 69?
Guys, let's go to the ocean, dude. How cool would it be if there's just a giant sea monster in the ocean?
I'm sure there is. Sure there is.
Oh,
There's so many
awesome.
animals that we have no fucking idea exist.
No.
Are you kidding me? Dude, of course there is. Like, I believe so much that as much as I believe in aliens, I also believe that there is some fucking creature on this planet that we have just like we just don't have proof of, but it just blow our fucking minds, and it's in the ocean.
There's this one time they put like a tracking chip on like a great white shark, and it got eaten, and it went deep. And they're like, what the fuck ate a great white shark and went that deep? We'll never know.
Legit. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's in some part of the ocean that we just haven't discovered, and we're gonna find Naboo or something. And we're just gonna show up, like, we're gonna come up with some equipment and show up there. See, that's more feasible to me.
Yeah.
That's way more feasible to me than going to space and like finding that. Because for me, space it's about understanding. Yeah. Like once you exit Earth, you leave behind everything. Like you're going too far outside of your boundary. Like now you just can't understand things. Like I think right now with the ocean, we just don't have the tools capable of discovering all that shit yet. But with space, not even close.
It's not just about like the tools, it's about like the interest too. Like everyone with the money like doesn't give three diddly winks about like finding Jar Jar Binks in the ocean, you know. They want to go to space because it sounds cooler, you know. There's like hardly any interest in like ocean exploration, you know. It's like very like microscopic because everyone wants
dude,
to
like
space.
that's going to space. Like when it comes to going to space, I just think there's nothing. You can't do anything. Like I don't think you can do anything in fucking space.
I used to want to be an astronaut as a kid.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like why did you want to be an astronaut as a kid? So you can fight on LV-426?
No. All right. Maybe.
He wanted to be a Master Chief.
That was later. No, but like I always just wanted to be in space because it seemed cool. But then I realized how much like math and shit there was there, and I realized how
dude, like, you could not force me to go to space.
I'll give you $5.
You could not force me to go to space
for like 2 minutes. You wouldn't want to be there for like 2 minutes.
No.
Not even like a little.
Nah, I'm good.
I don't want to go to space.
Elon
Musk,
not
even a little bit.
Knocks down your door. He's like, "Hey, do you want to go to the moon?"
I can't even get on a plane.
It's not a plane. It's a spaceship.
Okay, yeah, it's worse.
Right, it's the worst thing on the planet. Being in a spaceship sounds like it's the most scary, chaotic thing of all time.
It sounds fucking rad.
You're just in order to be in a spaceship, you just have to change your body.
You have to be like shaken so hard where it's like nothing to you.
Yeah.
Nothing. That's amazing.
Like your brain is already mush.
You know, and you're
by the time you will finally leave.
Do you know like if people spend too much time in space, like their bodies get all fucked up because like the flow of gravity
because they're in
is, like,
fucking
so weird.
space.
Blood doesn't know where to go.
We're not supposed to be there.
But it looks so cool in the movie, Zach. I want to do it.
We're not supposed to be there. Why do you want to go to space? I don't fucking care.
Because we're Americans and it's what we do.
I want to understand what's here.
True.
Like what's here within our level of understanding. Like the ocean, or honestly, the ocean is like peak for us. For on Earth, the ocean is peak Earth shit.
What if you go to the ocean and you find Jar Jar Binks and he won't leave you alone?
See, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Everyone
I feel like
knows it's your fault.
What I'm trying to say is if you put as much time going to the ocean and going to space, best case scenario, you find so much cooler shit in the ocean.
To be honest with
you, find in space.
We could knock out that ocean shit in like 10, 20 years and like, all right, we found everything. Now we can do space, guys. We found
I don't
Jar
think
Jar
so.
Binks. We'll find
I don't think so.
Majority of the things, you know. If we focus on it, if we hyper focus on it.
The Earth takes up, I mean, the ocean takes up, what is it?
75% of the Earth.
75% of the Earth.
It's not as big as Leo's asshole.
We got him.
I'm gonna go home.
No, but
I'm gonna go home right now.
I just think that I'm gonna go home right now. It'll be funny. I'll see you guys later.
All right, see.
No, I think that if we, I don't know, like you said, like if we found anything in space, it would be something so underwhelming. But if we found something in the ocean, I feel like it's more likely that we'll find this huge sea monster than like I think it's more. It is way easier for me, and I don't know how people understand this. It's way easier for me to understand. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we found this huge sea monster that we've never seen before, rather than finding one small alien.
Yeah.
It's just way cooler to me for some reason.
What if we go to like a planet and it's like all Minnesota? Like the life there's just evolved to be like people from Minnesota. They look like people from Minnesota, and like
I'm so dead.
It'd be cool for like 5
Gerald,
minutes. But then
you know what's actually crazy? That's.
Oh, I love
that's
it.
not a joke. It's not a joke. I think that's what.
Oh.
Zach, you're cutting off.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you. Bring that mic close to your face.
Okay, what I'm saying is, I think that something like that would happen. Like, if we were to find anything in space, it would be some Twilight Zone shit. Like, just because our brains can't process things like that, we would head into an area of space that, like, our brains no longer work the way they do. And what it is, it would be like a level of schizophrenia or something. Or like some sort of mental illness that you would develop like super quickly to where you start seeing hallucinations and stuff. Like that's what we would see. You cross into a level of space that like you just can't, your body's not prepared for. Your body and your mind are just not prepared for.
That's interesting. Write that down. That would make a pretty interesting film.
That's what the Twilight Zone is.
Yeah, you fucking
okay,
idiot.
but like do it about space and stuff. Like people go see space aliens and like, did you see the alien? There was no alien, Richard. Only people from Minnesota. You never left. You were in Minnesota.
I want to. I don't know. It's kind of a dream of mine to just do shit like the Twilight. You just come up with a bunch of weird fucking out there plots and just make like a 20-minute episode and stuff.
Can you believe people live in Kansas?
What fucking? This is the equivalent of Leo saying, "Hey, if you had a daughter, do you think she'd look like you?" How the fuck am I supposed to answer that question?
Just imagine saying you're from Kansas. That's fucking ugly.
Leo,
I mean, the thing is,
I'm sorry, people from Kansas. I don't
But the
give
thing
a
is,
fuck.
people from Kansas don't think that way. Because the thing is, we say we're from Florida, and we don't quite understand how crazy that sounds to everybody else.
Leo, we're from Florida, like the worst state in the world.
This state is legit one of the, in America at least, one of the worst.
Yeah.
But people always come to vacation down here, so it's really that bad.
And they leave. They never stay. They leave. They're only here for 3 days. It's like there's specific designated fun zones.
We don't take advantage.
Who goes to vacations in Kansas?
People from Kansas?
That's the point.
They take a vacation in Kansas? We
had to make an effort so people would come to our state, but it's all a lie. It's an illusion. The rest of it's not so. You know?
Okay, what is there to do in Kansas?
Just
corn?
As much as there is to do in
And where?
Exactly.
North Florida.
Yeah.
That's the thing. People don't come to Florida. People come to South Florida.
They go to Disney World.
That's the only place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They go to Disney World and they're like, all right, we need to get the fuck out of here because like this place is super racist.
As soon as they leave Disney World,
North Florida is fucking racist.
Yeah, North Florida's pretty bad, but like
no,
compared to like the Midwest, though.
Leo,
no, that's not what I'm saying.
Leo, we're number 2 in like hate groups. I think Florida has like the number 2 amount of like KKK organizations in it. Number 1 is California by like size.
No way.
Yeah. California is like super racist too. It's like here, you know, it's like you got the south part, which is cool and whatnot, and then you go up, it's full of racists. When I went to Sacramento for like a concert, there was a guy standing at the front with like a sign that said, "They're not gonna take our guns," you know.
Oh shit!
Whoa.
And, like the guy next to me was.
You're gonna have to say all that again.
There's when I went to Sacramento for like a quick little concert, there was a guy standing outside the venue with like a little table and like a sign that said some shit like. I thought it was gonna
happen again. It teased us.
It said some shit that like they're not gonna take our guns or something. He was there for like gun rights, and like the guy next to me was like, "Yeah, that's what's up. You know, that's what sucks living here. All the damn liberals control everything." I was like, "Ooh, my God, I gotta go." But the concert was cool. And
was it System?
It was.
Does it surprise you that those people were there?
No, not at all.
Isn't the drummer like that? Isn't the drummer a Republican?
Yeah.
Really?
Because it was a metal show, so like, yeah, that's who shows up.
They're all those guys have their own beliefs, like their own kind of crazy different.
Like,
I mean, they're a political band.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to expect them to have some sort of crazy beliefs, like Rage Against the Machine stuff. Yeah. All the punk bands.
Which is like, yeah, which is fine and all. You know, like I still love the music that they do. You know, doesn't mean that like the people that they are has to like appeal to me. You know, they can be their own individuals.
Okay, I want to ask you guys about that. Like where you stand like about artistry and how the person is as a human being. Because I think that's a slippery slope as well. Because it's on one end you're like, yeah, I mean, John Lennon shouldn't have done those things or said those things, but on the other end, his music is fucking like.
Well, it depends on like a lot of factors. Like, when did you know? What did they do? And like, when did you know it? Like if you go your whole life being a John Lennon fan, and you're like, oh, imagine, and then you find out that he
if it came out that Michael Jackson did everything that people said that
happen?
He did.
Like there was like a documentary.
It's still not confirmed.
We'll never know, but
Yeah.
Then that's kind of weird, because like, then you're sort of supporting them in a way,
Yeah.
It's different where like if they're like just like assholes, like they're shitty people, like you meet them and they're like, your mom's ass is as deep as the Marinara Trench, You're like, fuck you.
Marinara Trench.
Marinara Trench.
But their music's still cool. You like their music, it's fine. But if you find out that like they were Hitler the whole time, like they take off their mask and they're like, that's not what your country can do for you, and you're like, well then it's kind of like.
What I find really weird is when it's like,
what?
Someone's an asshole, but they're still artistically super talented.
Which happens, like...
Yeah,
no,
like Hitler was not a bad artist. But he was probably the worst person ever.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby is one of the greatest comedians of all.
Really?
Right,
I don't... What?
He did he was like monumental. He did like a lot of strides. He got like the first like, black sitcom on TV, and it turns out he was a fucking awful person,
Awful person.
But like,
it's a really shitty feeling when you find out people that have like such a position like that are just shitty people.
It's a really
a platform.
Well, the thing is, there's a certain. It doesn't surprise me too, because usually when stuff like that happens, like super creative people also have a lot of narcissism. Most of the time. So usually with that come other toxic traits.
Do you think they start off that way, or is it something that develops over time?
Sometimes. I'm a believer that there's, all the little things of how you grow up contributes to, nobody has the same experiences, so nobody's the same person. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
so that type of thing.
Like a half and half, like some people are just born crazy assholes and they become crazy assholes. But,
do you believe that?
Yeah, but like other people, like you have to sort of become that. Like in order to do art or like be a musician, you have to kind of become like a little full of yourself. And along the way, people like stray and like they're like, I'm God, I can do whatever I want,
Yeah, so I think most artists. Again, we don't take psychology. But I'm sure that there's a bit of narcissism in every artist. There has to be.
You have to.
Yeah. There has to be. I
Absolutely
think.
have to.
You can meet an artist that's the most humble person on the planet, but you have to think that you're good enough to do it, to pursue it. I'm not saying like to pursue it as a career. That requires a next level amount of narcissism.
Yeah.
To just do it by yourself and not show anybody, that's different. That's a different thing. I think.
to be up there, like, because you have to sell yourself. Like the first person you have to sell is yourself. So you have to believe I'm the hot diggity dog shit. To a level. And that's where some people get mixed up with on doing that. I'm like,
what if other people believe more in you than you believe in yourself?
That doesn't mean you don't have a lot of narcissism. It can still be there because you're still continuing along that path. I think
that's more like a Britney Spears kind of thing, where like you're a manufactured thing and like you're pushed out there and you have like no sense of self to the point where like you crack down. Could be like another thing that happens. That's why she like shaved her head and everything, because like she was basically a product. Like they were pushing her around and everything. I think T-Pain was talking about it, and he's like, yeah, she shaved her head because like she was tired of people touching it all the time. And I remember at the time everyone made fun of her, myself included, because I was a dumb kid. But looking back on it, it was
it's a real human thing. It's a real human thing.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey a few years ago.
What?
Had his little thing. Yeah. I found it really interesting because I found that what people thought of him going crazy was one of. Okay, so what I'm saying is that like a few years ago when Jim Carrey was supposedly like going crazy, I actually felt that was one of the more human things I had ever seen come from an artist, because he would say, I remember this one interview, like he showed up to like an awards thing or something, or like a red carpet thing, And the woman was like, how does it feel to be here? And he was like, Jim Carrey's here. I'm not here. And of course, everybody's like, what the fuck? This guy's on drugs. It's like, no. What he's saying is that, like, the idea of
Jim Carrey,
him being this, you know, because everybody thinks Jim Carrey's this huge, you know, outgoing, jumping up and down to the guy. But, you know, his girlfriend had passed away, and every reason for him not to be happy came into play. And so that's why he, you know, started painting and stuff, like as a more, you know, because you're able to take that and create something with it. And that's why he disappeared from like comedy for a long time. You just have to refine yourself. But that was the crazy thing of him saying, Jim Carrey's here, I'm not here, like I'm still at home. Like you have to, there's a certain ego that people expect you to have, you know? I actually thought that was super profound. I find him to be one of the more interesting artists I've ever seen and known in my entire life.
Yeah, he's a really like...
He's incredible.
He's a beautiful guy. You know, he's like a very beautiful, profound guy because he went through all that, you know? He went through being like a caricature, you know? Like, sort of like a Britney Spears kind of thing where like you have to act a certain way to, you know, get by.
Yeah. I also find it interesting that, you know, his belief on being a creative as a career has been one of the more profound things that ever. He has a quote, and I'm sure I've said this before. He has a quote that is the best quote I've ever heard in my entire life. And it sucks because I can't quote it word for word, but like the idea of what he said was because his father was a jazz musician, right?
Really?
So yeah, his father was a jazz musician and a pretty fucking good one. But then, you know, of course his father had kids and he had a wife and stuff. So he put all that to the side and, you know, he settled and he picked up like an office job, and that's how he supported them for a little while. And then a few years later, he lost his job. So what do you do? Like, what do you do at that point when you realize that what it is that you really wanted to do, you settled for an office job and you still got fired?
Damn.
And that still didn't work out. So that showed Jim Carrey that, like, if you're gonna, like, just because you're settling doesn't guarantee that you're still gonna be successful. You can still fail. So if you're gonna fail at something that you really want to fucking do.
That's deep.
You know? Dude, that changed everything for me. Because now, I mean, when I was younger, first you go through a moment where, and you know, people still do, where it's like, oh man, do I want to be an artist? Is this a smart thing to do? Once I heard that, I was like, I don't fucking care anymore. I don't care if it's a smart thing to do anymore. Because at that point, it's like, that was the thing that made everything click for me, where I was like, you know what, I despite everything now, I'm going to do that because, like, I'm going to try and be an artist because there's nothing else that I want to do.
Might as well.
And if I can still fail, like if I decide, you know what, I'm going to go into psychology and I still can't get a degree, why would I put all that much time just to fail? Why can't I just try and fail at something else? You know, like that really. So him as that person, also he's like one of the hardest working people, like ever. So that dude's a fucking amazing. He's fucking
profound,
sick.
Yeah, it's you know, because he's like such
a
he
learned from a young
guy,
age,
you know.
Yeah.
He's like such
and
a
it came
funny,
so
like,
natural to him. But of course, you know, not everybody's funny all the fucking.
Yeah, and like people wouldn't expect that from him. He was like the last person anyone would like expect that from, because they're like, no, you're the funny silly man, twist your face and do stuff, you know. And like that fucks with you, you know, like when you're, it's like that's a conundrum that like a lot of comedians have, like, you know, when they have like this image of like, you know, I'm funny, I'm hilarious, they feel like they have to keep that up like forever because that's who they are, but it's not really who they are. And, like,
bro, I feel like as a comedian, you either start out depressed or you eventually become depressed.
Yeah.
You know, and that's every artist. I think that's every person. But with comedians, I feel like it's one of those things that you just have to accept as part of the job. Like I feel like another thing I think that substance abuse is probably going to become a big part of my life at some point. If I'm successful, I will probably be faced with some sort of addictive thing.
You have to eventually, you know. That's
and not
gotta make it something positive.
That doesn't mean I'm going to partake in it myself, but there's going to be people around me. Like, that's going to be a thing that plays a big part in my life at some point.
Do you think it's gonna be me, Zach? Do you think I'm gonna develop like an opium addiction?
No.
Zach, I'll be close. Right,
No, I think Jeremy will.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. No, but I just think that, you know, your contemporaries will be so involved in it that it's something that you kind of have to develop at an early age that isn't, you know, it's not a thing. Like that's why I'm, you know, whenever somebody offers me something, I say no, like most of the time, because I know that if I'm taking this thing seriously, as a musician at least, there's going to be such a pressure of that later that if I partake in it now, it'll be a lot easier for me to partake in it when it's all in my face, you know?
Yeah.
So, and it's not one of those things that, it's not a fucking vaccination. Like you take it once and you're done. Like, no, it's not. That's not how it works. So I don't know. That's just my little take on it. I think that every career has its, you know, its vices.
Definitely.
As a filmmaker, it's also a thing where you become super depressed and stuff. Because I think that what it is you try to do as a filmmaker is you try to, just like with every other artist, take what you know, create your own new thing from it. But if you're trying to make serious film, like the fucking story I'm writing right now, Gerald, Nocturnal, like that's already having, I only wrote the first few pages, but it's already having a profound effect on me doing some research about it, because you have to completely immerse yourself in that for it to be taken seriously. And if you're writing a story about a serial killer, it kind of takes a toll on you a little bit, you know?
Yeah, it either takes a toll on you or like you're already like disassociated from it. Like I was talking to a friend the other day that, like, you know, to be an actor, you either have to work really hard at it or just like be kind of crazy, you know, to like be able to like detach.
I think you have to do both. I think you have to be both.
Yeah,
sort of teach yourself to be crazy. Yeah.
And
like
I think it eventually comes out. I think that everybody has that little bit in them. It's just it's you learning how to bring it out is what it is.
It's not so much like to like bring it out, but to like be able to like detach yourself to the point where like it's feasible to you to like attach yourself to something else, you know, which I feel like for me makes acting like a lot easier, because I'm always walking around like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and someone has
it's so easy, you know? It's so easy to disassociate and try and put on a different face and stuff. So you know, I mean, I think it's the same thing for me too. Like it kind of came as like a natural thing once I started taking it seriously, at least, you know. And I think that for you too, like it kind of just comes really natural to you. And there's probably experiences that contribute to that. Like I'm sure every actor is like has their own traumatic experiences that they can take and put into this, you know, type of thing. So
it's like
but acting is another thing that's like the psychology of that is so beyond my level of understanding. Taking acting classes now,
so much more to interesting. So much more to it. There's like a huge
much more to it that you're just accidentally time. Like if you actually go into the psychology of it,
there's a huge like difference between like, you know, like real acting and like just being good enough acting. Like the level where I'm at,
there's a difference between acting and faking.
Like the level where I'm at is like if you can read a line and not sound like you're reading it, you're a good actor, you know. But then the more you get into it, you're like, oh, there's so much more to it, like the feeling of it and like being the person and like believing the words you're saying and whatnot. And having to walk like I did a serious film once and it was fucking weird, just walking around being in like a weird bad mood all day. You know, this is weird.
I had to do that too. And mine was only like a shoot. That shit was fucking rough.
4-hour shoot.
Like it was like a 4 or 5 hour shoot. Like for me, I had to play this dude who was like at the start of the day, it was kind of like a Joker situation. It was only for like a little short film thing. But by the end of the day, he commits suicide. So much has to happen between him waking up and what happened at the end of the day. And throughout the entire thing, it just felt like this is fucking... And I think that if you're a good actor, you don't have to do that. But if you're a beginning actor, that's maybe something you feel like you need to do. But that shit was awful. That shit was horrible. And of course, those are the roles you kind of dream. Like, oh man... Can't wait. Like you want to be that wolf boy so bad. I want
that wolf man, you know. And there's like a certain pressure.
Like you want to be that wolf man, but
no, I know.
I guarantee that it's gonna be the worst fucking thing for you.
I know, but I want the wolf boy because people are gonna look at that and be like, "Wow, that's so hard. How do you do that?" You know. And I want people to say that. There's like a
I'm just saying,
certain
you're gonna need to prepare
pressure,
for
you
that
know?
for your life. For your
I'm
life,
ready.
you're gonna need to prepare for that.
I'm ready. I want the look for it, man.
Like you're gonna need to become anorexic. Like I want Joaquin Phoenix, Christian Bale level
I'm halfway there.
transformation.
I'm halfway there. Yeah. But there's always like a certain like pressure and responsibility when you get like a role like that. Like, oh, this is a serious role. Where like you're always self-conscious with like everything you say. And you're like, no, it's phony. It could be better. Ah, damn it. And like that gets in your head too. And like you have to synchronize your crazy a little. It's
What do you
difficult.
think, Leo?
Yeah. What do you
How's
think,
acting
Leo?
been for you?
How's acting been for you? Leo has
Well, not
5
quite
Academy
the
Awards.
actor. I was once an extra in one film, and that was about as far as my acting has gone.
Was it the muffin one?
It was
You were in my movie, and you were an extra in another movie I was in.
Oh yeah, I was in your movie.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Everyone forgot about that. Let's not talk about that. Anyhow.
Everybody starts somewhere, baby. Everybody
Everyone
starts somewhere.
I mean, I had fun with it, but obviously I never took it seriously. Like
I want a bunch of horrible songs.
It wasn't something super serious, so I never really
Yeah.
got into it or dived too into it to the point where I'm like, I am this person, like.
Yeah.
I also feel like definitely to be one of the greater actors, you do have to be a little bit crazy and like,
You got him.
like Gerald said, disassociate from your own persona and adopt a whole new personality in order to really sell yourself. That's usually how the best actors do it, I would
Yeah.
assume.
There's such a deeper level to the thing because I mean, kind of like when somebody's like, "Oh, I want to be a musician," and you get into the nitty gritty of actually being one, you start noticing, like, you start realizing it's a bigger world than you thought.
That's true.
That's a huge conundrum a lot of people face, where like they want to do creative stuff, but like they don't realize that it is work. Like the whole the whole psychology of like do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life is bullshit.
No,
to me.
that's
hate
not
that.
true.
Nah, you have to
Idiot.
go through the steps, and like it's it's
I think work. I
process.
think work is work. It's just whether or not you
Yeah.
fucking
should-
get up and see the end of it. Like, I mean, I've told you this before. Like, I think that artists a lot of the time don't have a lot of time to actually appreciate what the fuck it is that they're doing,
Yeah.
unless you're very lucky.
I mean, at least when it comes to like music, it's like it literally is work until you can express yourself in a certain way that you want to. It's not like you're just able to do what you want to do, especially when it comes to like an instrument or something,
Mm-hmm.
Like it takes all this practicing of things you could give like less of a fuck about, like scales, everything, intervals, and everything you just learn from music. And then eventually you learn to apply it to your own, craft. I feel like it would be the same with like acting, I guess.
Yeah, there's certain things that you just have to. You don't. I mean, like with acting, it's kind of just like taking on roles that you don't really fucking do because it's practice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
And that's like good for your job.
every actor does a bunch of fucking roles that they don't want to fucking do.
True.
That's a huge thing that like turns me off from like acting that I don't like a bit is like you never fucking know which role is gonna take off or like which one's gonna tank or like flop or like,
Dude, it's the same thing about making a.
Yeah.
You don't know what movie's gonna be successful and which one's.
But at least with like
You
making
know?
a movie, you have like a bit more control, right? Like you know that like
Yeah.
if you're like if you do more like lifts and shit, you can like make the movie better, But with acting, it's like you have to put it in so many other people's hands and whatnot, and like trust that
Yeah.
you like not only got like the good role that reads well, but was edited well and shot well and all that.
Yeah, that's an. I think more so you just have to take care of business on your part, and it makes it easier. It makes it harder to fuck it up.
Yeah.
I think, like literally that movie we did, the fucking zombie one.
Yeah.
You guys did a zombie movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was called
What?
28 Days Later.
No, shut your fucking mouth.
Dude, big fan.
No, I could send you the trailer because it's a trailer.
Sure.
But no, doing something like that, you start. Dude, even that was a little depressing for me, because it started off as a comedy, but the more we were doing it throughout the day, I'm like, this is way more serious than I thought it was going to be. Like, I'm sure your bit was really funny because playing a naked zombie who had a dildo.
Mine was
What?
physically demanding. Yeah, look.
Yeah,
know,
yours was physically draining. I'm sure.
Like that's what I'm talking about. Like those are roles you take because you're like, oh, it'll be good. People will see me.
Wait, you
It's
gotta
like,
explain your role now. What the
No,
fuck?
I'm not gonna explain my role. You heard it.
A naked
No.
zombie with a dildo.
Yeah, look, they needed a freak, a goblin-looking man, and I'm the goblin, so I'm
Shut up,
there.
bro.
What do you
It's
do with the dildo?
we used it for like a shadow, so it looks like my wiener's on his face. You know, it was pretty funny, but it's you know, stuff like that. You know, like you do stuff like that to get your name out there, but then you're like, wait, what if people typecast me and they think
Sounds like a shitty Craigslist porno ad.
we'll get the Goblin to do it, you know? I'm like, but I don't want to be the Goblin. I want to be more than the Goblin, but I'm not doing non-Goblin movies because I'm doing all these other Goblin movies to get my name out there.
So
That's
what's
why
the worst role you had, would you say?
Me? I don't know. There's this one time I was taped in a closet. That was annoying because I was taped in a closet and they were like, let's do the shot from here. Maybe if we do that.
I remember I saw that
sitting
one.
here like,
I saw that one. I thought you were funny in that one.
thank you. You know, it was fun. You know, it wasn't like awful, but like if you had to say like,
was that the one that you had a conversation with the wizard?
Yeah, that was the one.
That conversation was so fun.
Yeah.
You and that girl, that actress, the
Yeah,
banter
Alex.
between you guys. Yeah.
I changed my accent like 50 times throughout the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like that's the
What
thing.
was
you
it
know?
that she was saying? Like,
like, you
what were you
can't
guys
have
talking about?
It was
Can't
donuts.
have the donuts.
And I was like, no, I want the donuts. She's like, these are my donuts. Like, no, I know they're your donuts, but I want the donuts. And, you know, that's the thing, you know. And yeah, you know, that's the thing people don't realize about acting is that it's a lot of standing around, and a lot of people aren't ready for that.
Yeah.
Caught me by surprise. It's standing for hours and hours, and you still got to be in that good mood and do that funny line.
Mhm.
But I've been standing here.
Well, acting.
for hours.
I'm acting in a play right now, and I'm realizing that acting in film and acting in theater. I mean, fucking duh, they're different, but they're so different that it's ridiculous. Like, you know, this shit is more a marathon and film is a
I feel
sprint.
theater acting is like a lot more of a flex because like you got to get it right on the first one. But the thing about like movie acting is you can be a lot more intimate and like personal with it. But
Yeah.
but you have to like
It's in the eyes. It's more in the eyes and stuff.
it's like a bit more phony, so you have to do a lot more work in your mind to like stay in the zone, whereas in theater you go and like you're there and you got to do it, you know.
Have you ever done theater work, Joe?
No, I auditioned for that same play and they're like, aha,
Oh yeah, that's right.
go away, dude. I saw that Goblin movie, dude. Nah.
No, I think it was more so. I'm starting to. I think that was more like
politics,
they didn't know who the. Yeah, exactly. It was Paul.
I think my favorite was Gerald's like basketball movie. That one was
hilarious.
hilarious.
The one with the
Great.
devil.
Yeah, that one was fucking hilarious.
That one was
Dude, I
fun
feel
to
like
make.
Gerald. All the roles that you're in, I'm realizing are like, it starts off sounding normal, and then you bring in like a wild fucking character, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, oh, we did a zombie movie. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you were the naked zombie.
Yeah.
What?
Gerald gets the
Like, oh,
craziest fucking
like,
roles.
it was that
That's-
donut movie. Oh yeah, no, the one where you had a conversation with a wizard. Oh shit, yeah.
Yo, what was that mini skit you did with Brendan? It was like about like mac and cheese or some shit.
Oh yeah, it was about these mob bosses, and then I start finger fucking a bowl of mac and cheese. That's student films for you, man. That's like the best we can come up with. What if the things are normal and then wild thing happens?
Yeah, that's what Madman is.
I mean, like
Mad
when you boil it down to that, yeah, it sounds very simplistic, but at the end of the day, like it's the best you can do because you can't think of anything else.
Leo, Madman is a script that I wrote that I want Gerald to direct.
It's a
Ooh,
great
what's
script.
it about?
But now it's becoming something else, I think.
Yeah, now it's become more intricate.
Give me a little teaser. Little.
It's about this dude
Uh-huh.
who doesn't have anything in his life that he enjoys.
Damn.
Anything. Like, he doesn't enjoy anything. Except he has like I changed it a little bit, Gerald, so you're going to hear something new.
Oh,
He has
boy.
a little rubber band on his wrist that he just slaps against himself,
Mm-hmm.
and the audience doesn't understand why. And then he's like a huge baseball fan, and his grandma, who he lives with, just tells him, "Get the fuck out of here, I hate you." So he leaves. And then he passes by this like sports memorabilia thing, and he sees a guy who looks
What?
like
Shut up.
wearing the same thing. Not exactly like him, but it looks very similar to him. Like they're both fans of the same team.
Mhm.
And then a little later on, he leaves, and an SUV pulls up to him, and a fucking big dude tackles him, and he starts beating the shit out of him. And they bring him to the SUV, and then they're like, "Yo, you don't fuck with the boss," blah, 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 this stuff. And he's
Oh,
like,
so he's like mistaken for someone else.
yeah, he's mistaken for somebody else. And then when they take off the sack off his head, they're like, "Fuck are you?" And of course, it's not the right guy. But then he's like, they're like, "Oh my god, we're so sorry." And he's like, "No, this is great. I love this." He's like, "Can you fucking beat the shit out of me? Fucking spit on me, piss on me."
That's so we got a
Who's got a
masochist.
Anybody got a piss? Yeah, and then you find out this dude's a masochist. And they're trying, and then it's about him finding them because he wants them to beat the shit out of him. Yeah, that's it.
It's a great movie. Do you know Leo's dad is Matt Damon? Do you think Matt Damon would want to be in the movie, Leo?
I can ask him, but
I don't want
think
fucking
he'll
Matt
say
Damon
yeah.
to be in the movie. Fuck that.
I want to.
Yeah, he'll blow all you fishies out of the water.
All right, boys. I think we should end this.
I think we should end it as well.
All right, do the
It's
outro,
over.
homeboy. It's over.
It's over.
We're done.
Listen, man, we get it.
All right.
All right,
Once
we're
you
done.
ask the Matt Damon question, I'm out of here. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're done. Goodbye.
All right, everyone. Thank you for being on the Soft Spot podcast. This has been the Soft Spot. I'm Joe P. Payne.
Is he
I'm Zachary
playing?
Gilroy.
I don't know.
And, it's because
It's like cutting in and out. Like it's really
Yeah, I can't even
Yeah, because I'm recording me through this, so this isn't like recording me, but you guys are hearing it, so it's a conflict. Anyways, this has been the Soft Spot. I'm Gerald P. Payne, Zachariah Gilroy,
No.
Leonardo Cervantes.
Yeah.
Thank all two of you for being here. We'll catch you all on the flip side.
All right, goodbye.